happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Okay, JJ Wang. Most of week one is in the books. For those of you that listen to us regularly, you know that we record Sunday nights because our kids are so stinking busy, or I'm actually taking a college course on Monday nights. That really screws things up for me. Maybe in a couple of years, we'll be back to doing it Mondays or Tuesdays or 2 times a week. But right now, sorry, guys, our kids are more important.
Yeah,
We love you.
probably not because I'm pretty sure once my daughter is like kind of out of the way. I mean,
Out of the
I
way.
think I'm going to be spending a lot of my time refereeing, so I may have even less time as
Oh, we'll
far
find
as
time.
when that comes around is when my daughter is finally.
Oh, we'll find time. We'll squeeze you in
We'll
there.
definitely find
But yeah, so it's been a mixed bag today. At about 3 o'clock this afternoon, told my family I was deciding if I was going to get a new personal favorite team because I would say my team looked the worst of any team this week. The Dolphins
Oh,
really
we'll talk about it. Don't go too far. We'll
they
talk about
pooped the bed,
we'll talk
and I told in one of my chats, I said, I don't even know if they deserve to poop the bed. I think they just farted a little bit, and that was about all we got out of them, even though there was a big dumpster fire. But how are your teams looking this week, JJ Wang?
a little underwhelming. I have a couple good teams. My redraft isn't the best. I'm not the greatest at redraft, and that doesn't seem to be my strong point. I mean, it's okay. You win some, you lose some. I usually lose more than I win. I feel like most people do. But, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, it's been a mix, and the hard thing is it's week one, so it's hard even really to gauge what is going on. Like, is it real or is it? But I don't want to take away from what you're getting ready to do with us. So, JJ Wang, let's do it.
Yeah, let's go. So, over the last few years, I've kind of renamed this section multiple times. So over the next few weeks, I'm just going to go back and just rehash some of the previous gimmicks that we have, and then this week I'm going to do for real or is it faux real? Of course, like I said last week, I don't get to watch a lot of football. I don't have the cable anymore, so I mean I keep up with all the stats. I mean I'm watching replays, so I'll be asking you if it's for real or if it's faux real because you tend to watch more games, more of the actual games than I do. So we'll start off. We'll go. I got a couple teams here I want to bring up. The first team, I feel like it's the surprise team of the day, and that's the New York Jets. I mean, that offense looked really, really good. Brees Hall looked good. Everybody was down on Brees Hall. He looked really, really good. Braylon Allen did steal one touchdown, but other than that, not overly impressive. He was catching the ball. Garrett Wilson looks really, really good. Honestly, I think Justin Fields, from what I was watching on the highlights, I think Justin Fields probably looked the best at quarterback. I know it's only one game, that I've ever really seen him play. So I'm going
Yeah.
to ask you. I know you're a Jets hater, but are the Jets for real or are they just faux real?
You put up 32 points against the Steelers, and you're going to have me starting to believe. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when they get a team. So I'm wondering, for now, I got to say they're for real. And it depends upon what we find out about the Steelers in the upcoming weeks. I thought in this game, I was fading all these players thinking good Jets defense, good Steelers defense, when actually we got good Jets offense, good Steelers offense. Justin Fields only had to throw 22 times, but then again, Rodgers threw 30. At this rate, Brees Hall might have his first 1,000-yard season. And after seeing you trade for Braylon Allen, I just saw him.
Yeah, that
I was
didn't.
like, oh man, JJ Wang got 9 yards.
Yeah, I mean, not sure well, of course, when I traded for Braylon Allen, I'm not
Future.
expecting him to play. I mean, I'm a Brees Hall fan, so if Brees Hall plays, I mean, I'm way more excited. But I just want Braylon Allen for future type. I still think he's a good football player. I mean, he's big. I think he'll get a lot of touchdowns. That's the reason I did that. I wasn't expecting a lot of points.
Yeah, Justin Fields, I haven't looked at all the rankings yet. He's probably QB1 this week, isn't he?
Yeah, he's close. I mean, it's him.
Him and Hurts.
Herbert had a big game
Yeah.
Friday.
Hurts might be up there
Aaron
with his
Rodgers
rushing.
had a pretty big game.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns will catch 2 rushing.
Um, I got another team here, real quick. This is your team, the Broncos, barely squeaking by Tennessee Titans. As far as offensively goes, nothing really to write home about. Cortland Sutton, I see, did have a touchdown. Bo Nix didn't really have the Peyton Manning game that we thought he was going to have. So I'm sure the Broncos to you are still for real, but as fantasy values, are you picking the Jets over the Broncos from this point forward as far as fantasy values? Is that for real or is that for real?
I mean, I think in general, if you're looking at the players themselves, the only one of those players that I might not have thought higher, like I believe I have Sutton ranked lower than Garrett Wilson, the running backs for Broncos, because I mean, I mean, yardage wise, they split it. Dobbins got more touches. We'll see how that pans out. Bo Nix, I had ranked higher, substantially higher than Fields, but I might have to move Fields above. And, 1 week of doing that, if you're gonna be that efficient, that was a knock on Fields that he couldn't pass the ball,
Hey, look
and
good
then to
pass.
make things worse, he's a jet. I mean, he had a 66% passing rate, give or take, and daggone it, you got to go with it. I mean, I think him and Nix could end up being close because Nix did sling the ball 40 times. So if you're going to throw the ball that much, you're going to have some really big boom weeks. It just was a poop week with interceptions, and it's week 1 too, so it's so like ask me that next. That's almost the question. We should almost ask all the same team questions next week because those I still. If you said right now, I'd say I'd have to take the Jets, and it makes me want to vomit. I puked a little bit in my mouth, but they looked flat. I had all the games, like you said. I got to watch them, so I had 4 games on my screen. 1 game on a little bitty screen. I watched most of the Colts versus the Miami football team, and but I had them on there flat, and I don't know if that was just getting your game legs because nobody plays in the preseason, which is always a struggle, or if this is what's going to look like. So
All
it's
right, well, let's get to that. Let's get to the stinkers. I got 3 teams here. I got the Miami Dolphins, who absolutely looked, well, I didn't watch it, so I can't say they looked, but it seemed like they were really, really bad. The Lions, starting out without Ben Johnson, they didn't look very good as well. All 3 of their stars underperformed. Of course, Jameer Gibbs, Amon Ra. Laporta
I
was
know,
okay.
I know.
Laporta was okay. And then Golf looked pretty bad as well. And then the Texans just did not look good. D. Collins was bad. C.J. Stroud continuing not to look like he did in that rookie season. And then, of course, Nick Chubb did have 60 yards rushing. So, I mean, I guess that's a positive. Out of these 3 teams, which ones are for real or which one's faux real?
You mean
As far as
so? It's all sucking. The Dolphins suck. They're terrible. Play calling was terrible. The defense was terrible. And just go back to last week's notes when I said the Colts might actually
you
be a
did say
decent
that. You
team.
did say that.
I did. I thought about it the whole time. I was like, and Danny Dimes had control of that offense. Miami shot themselves in the foot. Tua threw the ball directly to a lineman who was just walking backwards. The corners on Miami are poop. It's A Chain looks spectacular. Like if he gets a little bit of chance, he might have like a
Well,
Steven Jackson kind of
he
year.
had one play. Other than if he didn't have that one play, he would have had a terrible fantasy.
But he for look at the
He would
time
have
of
had a.
possession.
I know you watched it. I mean, I totally get it. But looking at the numbers, he had one touchdown. Was it a reception?
Yeah. He had a long rush. He had a long rush. He had a his longest reception was 11, but he's for considering where they were,
I
he
guess.
came out really well because the time of possession, I'm trying to see if I can pull it up here, was astronomical. Like the Colts had to have had the ball 3/4 of the game. I can't even see it here on the stats, but it was ridiculous. The Dolphins looked like poop. If this happens another week or so, I mean, you're gonna see McDaniels fired by week 3. There's no way he survives something this abysmal. And I watched the Lions game going, I think the Packers defense is that good. You had Micah Parsons to a really good defense,
That's true.
so I'm not worried about them yet. Plus, the Rams are my Super Bowl pick, so I'm not worried about the Texans yet because they did show some signs of life. There was rust there, but in order it would be Dolphins are the worst, Texans are the one I'm hedging on. Lions, I'm not worried yet because I'm starting to believe that Packers defense might be really good.
Oh, I think it will be too. Yeah, I think the Lions. I think the Lions are probably the safest of the 3. But I mean, as far as your first game without Ben Johnson, you don't look. You look terrible. That's not how you want to start. So I'm a little down on that. And the Texans. Yeah, I'm just a little worried about C.J. Stroud at the moment. I'm not starting off on a big, on a little better
I have
foot here.
Nico.
Right,
I'm worried about him.
let's go to a quarterback real quick. We got Danny Jones had a big day premiere for the Indianapolis Colts. Colts looked good. Michael Pittman looked good. Uh, he had a
Yes.
big touchdown.
About time, right?
Played well. Yeah, about time. Played well. Danny Jones. I think he's like a top 5 QB right now. Maybe top 5, 10 by the by the time the week's over, is Danny Jones for real, or is this just a random Daniel Jones game that he'll end up going back to being
Well, we
Daniel?
will know very soon because they play the Broncos next week. Do I think next week he'll come out? He won't look this good? Absolutely. But then the week after that, they play the Titans. So I think Daniel Jones is a guy that I want on my team, but he's a definite streamer. Like I'm hesitant next week versus the Broncos and 2 weeks versus the Rams. But then it's Titans, Raiders, Cardinals, possibly Chargers, Titans, Steelers, Falcons, Chiefs. Like he has a spectacular schedule to do pretty good this year. So if you have Danny Jones, or you can get him on waivers, I'd grab him on waivers in New York Minute. Hold him even if next week sucks because the Broncos are a really good defense. Even if in 2 weeks sucks because the Rams are pretty good. They're not as good as the Broncos, I don't think, because the rest of the season, there's some teams that have good defenses, but they're not going to end up playing these. They don't play the Packers defense. They're not going to play these stud defenses all season. Daniel Jones, another bold prediction. He could be a top 10 quarterback
Are you
if he runs with.
are you guaranteeing the Colts to win the South?
I don't know because the Jaguars look good. That'll be a shootout. So if I had to, they looked better. So it's those two teams. But I'll take if you want me to be brazen, I'll take them. But that's who it's. The other teams aren't competing in the South. It's those two teams. If the Jaguars can put it all together, I think they're a better rounded team. But so yeah, I'll give the Colts the South.
How
Let's
did
do it.
Jonathan Taylor look? I didn't really see much.
He looked good enough. I mean, the problem is Daniel Jones stole the show.
Yeah,
Taylor was getting some runs, but he was basically Najee Harrising the day. I mean, he only had 3.9 per carry, but he was the important part was he's healthy and he's a big part of their offense. So he did get 18 carries. Miami's as bad as they are, their front seven is good. They've got 3 great defensive linemen and a couple decent linebackers. Their secondary, that's why Daniel Jones, the second half wasn't as stellar. He had almost 200 yards in the first half. But yeah, Danny Dimes essentially was he might, you know what? I'll bet you Daniel Jones is higher than Justin Fields, by the way, by about 20 yards.
All right, the next guy we got Bryce Young. Everybody was kind of high on Bryce Young coming into the season. The way he finished last year, he looked really really good. Last 8 games, that was coming off of a terrible first 8 games. So we was wanted to see what kind of Bryce Young we was going to get, and it looked more like the Bryce Young that got benched prior to kind of the breakout last season. Is this the kind of Bryce Young with 154 passing yards? They have 40 rushing yards, but like the 2 interceptions, I mean that's a killer. He was expecting a little better. Is this Bryce Young for real, or is he faux real? And we still think he can get back to the second half of last season.
Well, he was the best former finishing at Alabama starting quarterback this week. He was better than Tua. How like 40 yards better than Tua. Bryce Young, those two guys said his name because those two guys looked about the same. They looked kind of lost and just made a couple of knuckleheads. Bryce Young was visibly so mad. He was ticked off during that third quarter after that lengthy delay they had today. If it's like last year, he's playing the whole season. I think this is the year they're going to say, okay, you got 17 games to prove yourself. Do I think he's real or not? I thought he was going to be better, but I will have to, if I got to go faux, he's not for real. Let's go with that. I don't think he's going to be for real. You look at him in the game, he just looks so little.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think he's going to be that. I think he'll just.
It was hope.
Yeah, I just think he'll be that quarterback that's kind of like a journeyman his whole career. I mean, I think he's
Geno
good
Smith
in the league. I just don't know how good. Just don't think he's a starter. So we'll see how good. But I mean, I'm still rooting. I mean, I don't have him anywhere, so I'm really not rooting for him. I
got one.
I could really
in our auction
care. I could really care less. So, but I mean, looking at it from my perspective, I don't see much happening for Bryce Young. I got a couple running backs, 2 rookie guys. We're kind of excited about. I'm going to speak of one, your boy, Corey Cross-Merritt, a.k.a. Get 10 carries for about 90 yards, 82 yards. One was a huge carry at the end of the game. He did get the 1 touchdown. So, I mean, he was involved. I mean, that's really all you can ask for as a rookie running back. Of course, that running back situation is very, very up in the air. They don't really have anybody that they can really rely on. So there's plenty of be opportunity. And the other guy is Dylan Sampson from Cleveland. Really, really good. Yeah, 64 receiving yards. So you like to see that so you can kind of like manage. he could be a good receiving back. With the news that Quinshon Judkins signed and eventually he's going to be playing, it looks like Dylan Sampson can be, like a reliable third down type back, that kind of guy that we really, really like in fantasy. So going forward, being that the running back room is where it's at for both of these teams, is this for real? I mean, you can rely on maybe like starting them a spot start here and there, or is this just first week random guys pop off for real?
I'll be honest, I was in love with Bill, and I was worried this week. Like, honestly, worried going into the week that he was going to get faded. And then Chris Rodriguez he was a healthy scratch. To me, that says Bill is going to be for real. And they gave him more carries than Eckler. Eckler's going to get some of the passing, but Eckler only had 3 targets. He caught all of them. He had 3 targets. So I'm back on my Bill train. Like, I'm excited because I need it in a couple places, but also because he got the carries. So I think this was them saying, okay, rookie, we know what we got in Rodriguez. We want to see if you are as good as we're saying you are, and we're going to let you get some of the carries in here. And he then worked his way up to get the most carries on the team. Of a running back. And then he broke that one off, scored a touchdown. To me, that says, hey, guess what, dude? You're going to get the start. Player's going to get the passing work. And the same thing for Samson. I'm not worried about him. Like, I was starting to pick him up in a bunch of leagues towards the end, I was thinking Judkins won't play this year. And who knows? He still might not. Maybe the NFL will do some okie doke and suspends him for being a jerk. But with what he did, 12 for 29, nothing impressive, but he was commanding leadership in that offense. And those passing roles, if he can keep that kind of passing down efficiency down, they can do a thunder lightning, which is what every team should do, not for fantasy wise, but for real life, that having 2 young backs come together, they might have something going on here once they figure out who's going to be the quarterback after Joe Flacco's funeral. It's going to be, they need a young quarterback with it. Maybe it's Gabriel, who apparently has looked decent. Maybe it's your boy Sanders. Maybe it's Manning. Who knows? But they'll have those 2 guys at least as a foundation together so they don't wear them out. And I think both guys I like.
Yeah, I kind of like both of them too. Really,
Because of the roles.
I wasn't high on either one of them, so I kind of missed the boat if you're not high on guys like this. So they're gonna be kind of hard to get. I got a couple. I got a wide receiver. I think the biggest. Well, I got 2 guys. I got Emeka Ibuka, the rookie out of Ohio State. Looks like he could be the man. He came into that offense, looked really, really good. 4 receptions for 67 yards and 2 touchdowns. Of course, he's not going to get the 2 touchdowns every week. But he's a starting wide receiver for a good offensive team. Him and Mike Evans was kind of like 50-50. So that's the kind of stuff you want to say. He just looks good out there. He jumps in and he looks like a star. And then I want to go back to Friday. A guy that absolutely nobody likes. I've never heard one good thing. I've never heard one good thing about this guy. That's Quentin Johnston. He had a big game. If Herbert is going to play that way and sling the ball the way he did, there's going to be nothing but opportunity for this fella. And if he's able to, because he had some drop issues, so if he's able to get those in control, and catch these balls, this guy could be in for a pretty decent season. Sometimes it takes wide receivers to transition a little more to the NFL. So there is a possibility here. He looked really, really good. That offense looks like they're going to be able to pass it whenever they want. So are both of these guys for real? For real? Or is, tell me what you think.
Emeka Ibuka is for real.
Absolutely.
Shout out to our girl, Susan, the gridiron goddess. She's all about it. We had a big conversation the other week about Emeka Ibuka. She got me on the train. That's what I was thinking. And we said it before. He's faster than JS. He's JSN on speed. I thought for sure Emeka Ibuka is going to be good, but not this year. And then Chris Godwin decides to do what Chris Godwin does. He got money and he got hurt. So Emeka Ibuka is going to be in there. They're going to get Mike Evans is going to get the ball no matter what happens. If it's the last game and Mike Evans needs 300 yards to get 1,000 yards, they're going to throw to him 72 times to get those 300 yards. There is no way Mike Evans doesn't get 1,000 yards. That's a cold hard stance right here. I would bet my life savings on it, like $72. Quentin Johnston, I'm going to put blind bet waivers on him, but I still think it's faux real. I think it's the Chargers have such good running. The Chargers, Jim Harbaugh decided he was going to outsmart Andy Reid. Andy Reid was going to play the run because the Chargers are a running game. So Harbaugh came out and slung the rock. I mean, Keenan Allen somehow, and by the way, my fantasy pros rankings are going to be poop because I loved Keenan Allen this week, and somehow I didn't move him. He was like my 98th. I was like, man, I give up. I quit. I screwed myself. But Keenan Allen got 10 targets. That's what we thought would happen. He's going to get 10 targets. His stat line is probably close to what we'll see every week. 10 targets, 7 receptions, 60 some odd yards, and possibly a touchdown. I'll take that in PPR. McConkey got 9 targets. In the same, I mean, all these guys got the same amount of yards, give or take. Quentin Johnson got 7 targets. I just, you don't I don't trust him yet. Am I picking him up on waivers? Absolutely. If he's on your waiver, pick him up. He's got to prove it to me 1 or 2 more weeks because, I mean, he does play the Raiders next week, so that helps. But old Stonehands there isn't going to magically, I just can't see him magically becoming a superstar. He was just so bad. And there's so much talent there with McConkey and Allen. So he's faux right now. He's prove it real.
He doesn't have to be a superstar. He can just be a star.
What's a star going to be with McConkey and Allen there getting theirs? All 3 of these guys can't eat every week. And he, to me, is the odd man out. That's why I'm saying faux. Like, Allen's going to eat. McConkey seems like he's going to eat. If someone's got to drop, it's going to be Johnson, in my opinion. And I don't know. I don't trust him. He's probably in between 4 and faux, but I'm picking him up everywhere I can. If he's on the waiver wire.
I don't trust him either. But I think if the Chargers are going to throw like this, I mean, there's going to be a lot of – there's going to be
I still don't trust they're going to throw. I think they're going to next week. Harbaugh's going to come out. Hampton's going to run it 20 times. Harris is going to run it 10 times. They're just going to run it down the Raiders' throats just so that he can prove he's the best coach in the world and keep his ego inflated.
Yeah, all right. Two guys that kind of suck. Well, 2 guys that really did suck. I got Devonta Smith from the Eagles. The Eagles' whole pass.
Let's just put them all together, please.
AJ Brown was pitiful too. We can just put them together. Is that what we were expecting out of this offense? Are either of those receivers going to be, I don't want to say playable, but reliable?
I mean, Quentin Johnson had 3 times more yards than those 2 guys combined, plus Dallas Goedert, if you want to add, plus Saquon, I think. It's the first game. They were game planned out. I've never been super AJ Brown. I've got AJ Brown teams, and when a player that's highly rated gets 1 reception for 8 yards, he pretty much wrecks your entire week. And he has pretty much done that. I'm higher on Brown than I am on Smith, not by a ton, but I have to assume because the Cowboys did play. I mean, it was a close game. Hurts only had 152 yards. I mean, Saquon only was averaging 3.3. The whole team as a whole, unless you're Jahan Dotson or Dallas Goedert getting peppered with targets, was down per se. Hurts had a good fantasy week because he ran, and that's what makes him good. But I'm not worried about those guys yet, and we'll see how it goes down. But I just think the Cowboys played them well. They came in wanting to prove something. The problem for the Eagles is the next 2 weeks are the Chiefs and the Rams. And then the Buccaneers, and then the Broncos. This is like a brutal month. But luckily, then they got the Giants. But then they got the Vikings. Then they got the Giants. Like, if you can trade, it's too late now. But their schedule, holy cow, I didn't look so far. You get the Packers. They got to play the Lions defense, which is okay. They got to play Cowboys again. The Bears, which probably won't be terrible this year. And then they got the Manders, the Bills. They've got a brutal. Could it be?
Dreadful. That sounds.
Yeah. I think the Manders might win the East just because
be the hardest schedule I've ever seen. I've ever heard about.
I didn't realize. I was like, because I don't go down schedules a whole lot when I'm looking at like whole teams. I look at players and like stuff, or some I just said. But man, I forgot how. Ooh. I might be a little more worried. And if you have them and somebody loves the Eagles, Rich, trade them away. He won't take AJ Brown. He already your brother-in-law won't take him because he already has all the other Eagles. He's like, I got Smith. I don't need Brown. I'm like, darn it.
I was a big fan of Smith. Been a big disappointment. Did the Commanders overpay for Terry McLaurin?
Oh, I said that from the minute.
Oh, yeah, they definitely.
Was that last week after we did our show? I think so. So my boy Travis, who I know listens, him and I were talking. He's like, yes, we signed Terry McLaurin. And I love Terry McLaurin. I think Terry McLaurin is a spectacular player. Terry McLaurin is not a 3-year, $30 million. I know it's all split up, but still, that's the average. 3-year, $30-some-odd million receiver at age 29. Yes, it's going to Albert Hainsworth them, especially after they decided to throw the ball to Debo Samuel 10 times today. I didn't see that coming. Like that might be more of a shock. Like Terry McLaurin, he'll still get his 900,000 yards. He's not going to get his 13 touchdowns. He'll get 900,000. I'll give him 1,000 yards, probably in 6 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns. He'll be okay, but he's not that. I think DK's a better receiver, even though I think it'll pop out. But yes is the answer to your question. I mean, DK had 83 yards on 4 receptions, and he got the bag of cash and performed with an old man.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, last guy. Go back to the Cleveland Browns. Harold Fannin, tight end for the Cleveland Browns. 7 catches for 63 yards. Tyler Warren also had a big game too.
He looks good.
So
he looks like really good.
Really good. Of course, everybody thought that. But Harold Fannin will finish the week as like a top 10 tight end. Like, again, not really hard to do. But the 7 receptions for 63 yards, I found that very, very interesting. 9 targets. I found that very interesting for a team that doesn't I know they got Jerry Jeudy. I mean, it's okay. But they needed, it was like Njoku last week, who didn't play very well. So Fanning kind of outplayed him this week. There's going to be opportunity. I don't know how much they're going to throw. I know Joe Flacco likes to throw. He likes to be dangerous. Is this guy something you can see being for real? Or is this just a random tight end deciding to catch some balls and it's just for real? We won't talk about it.
As long as Joe Flacco is the quarterback, I'm interested in streaming. I mean, you can't argue with 9 targets. I think on that offense, the 2 guys that really impressed me most were Fannin and Tillman. I mean, Jeudy did have more yards and the same amount of targets, but he didn't look like Tillman looked more confident in the offense. Fannin, it was like every time I turned around, I was like, there comes a little ball coming his way. This is intriguing. I thought he was supposed to be because he's had NCAA records last year or something, Bowling Green. Like he was the good man. Yeah. And it was interesting. And I saw why, because he looked, let me make sure I'm not, he's not as big as other guys. He's only 6'4", 241, which is like a little smaller for a tight end. Like some of the other tight ends that are coming in now they're beefier. There's some like over 250 or some of the newer tight ends, but he didn't look as big as some. Maybe he's a leaner, stronger one, but dude, he was being targeted. I was like, wow, Fannin. I did not expect to hear that name until probably next year. And I think he's ahead of the curve, and Njoku sort of does what Njoku does. He has good times and then just is just a guy. So he's a guy. It depends where your waiver claims. I don't know if I'd want to waste a waiver claim on a rookie tight end, but I'd monitor him. I think that's where I am sort of following. I'm sort of setting with him.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I say. Well, there you have it. That's all I got for you today.
Yeah, so earlier this offseason, I think I mentioned my hard drive crashed. So I lost my drop. I didn't realize till right before the show. So Surefire, waste of a touchdown. Maybe I'll make one at some point because I got to figure out how to run it through Riverside anyway to play the music in the background. So here we go. Surefire, waste of a touchdown. For those of you new to the show, these are guys who scored a touchdown, and there's a very good chance they were not on our team, and there's usually a better chance they will not be on our team unless their name is Nick Cannon Westbrook, who last year was the namesake for this segment. We'll see who takes it over this week because he plays for the Dolphins, so he obviously sucks. So I have 5 guys this week. First one is a known commodity, but not a guy you would think could get a touchdown. So we have a 1-yard pass from Joe Burrow. Speaking of guys that pooped the bed this week, Noah Fant, cut from the Seahawks because he could not play a rookie. Didn't get the money that Gesicki gets the 1-yard pass. But yeah, that for sure is definitely a
surefire waste of a touchdown. Who's he even play for?
Joe Burrow, the Bungles.
Oh, you said that. That's why you said Joe Burrow. Okay, gotcha. My bad. I was zoned out. Sorry.
I'm on the Dolphins suck theme. This was a rookie tight end they had a couple of years ago. 6-yard pass from Trevor Lawrence. It's got to be. I thought, yes, it's a strange. Oh, Hunter Long with the 6-yard pass for Trevor Lawrence. He was a big guy out of Purdue a couple years ago. He was he was kind of like Fannin. That's why I'm not hesitant about Fannin. Guess what? It's 3 years later. So that makes him a
surefire waste of touchdown. Yeah, I don't even know who that guy is.
Yeah, I only know him because I'm a Dolphins. He went to the Rams for a year or two. They traded him as part of the we did some trade with them. Anyway, here's a blast from the past. Aaron Rodgers, 22-yard pass to DK Metcalf. No, maybe even Calvin Austin. Calvin Austin scored a touchdown. Yeah. I wasn't ready to put him here because Rodgers has been talking good about him. Maybe it's Warren. Yeah, Warren scored one. No. How about Ben Skowronek, a name from Rams past? Cool for him. He's a kick returner. So that makes this a.
Surefire waste of a touchdown. Yeah, I didn't know he was playing on the Pittsburgh Steelers. You find out a whole bunch of things.
I didn't know that. That one, the other guys I sort of knew where they were. Hunter Long, I forgot. But here's one 4-yard pass from Brock Purdy. By this point, bad news. Kittle's out with a hammy injury for the rest of the day. Purcell, nope, not him. Not Juwan Jennings. I don't even know how to say this guy's name. Jake Tongas. He is a tight end, number 88. I had to look it up. I was like, is he a tight end or a lineman? Jake Tongas, 4-yard pass from Brock Purdy. This is most definitely a.
Surefire waste of a touchdown. Yeah. So again, I don't even know who that guy is.
I have no. That's the only guy on here I don't know. This guy we know, but he's been dead for a while. I don't know if anybody even drafted him at this point. The next guy,
I was about to say, who died?
not really dead, figuratively dead. 26-yard pass from your favorite quarterback in the NFL, Geno Smith, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers. Oh no, Trey Tucker showing signs of life after Left for Dead. So that one was a stretch, but I just wanted to recognize him because he's not been drafted like a couple years ago as a PPR kind of guy. But these days, he's on your waiver wire. So that would make this a.
Surefire waste of a touchdown. I have heard of that guy.
Yeah, so you probably heard of him and Noah Fant and Big Scarani. So yeah, so those are some of the guys. There was a lot of straight chalk or just terrible passing or terrible scoring. So there you go, JJ Wang. Give us some wisdom as we go into week 2.
Like, yeah, I guess just the annual words of wisdom for the first week of the season. Don't just speak here. Don't overreact. I know you want to put in the fresh new toy, fancy thing. I mean, that's fine. Hey, do whatever you want to do. It's your team. But I mean, give it a couple of weeks, to let your draft kind of play out. First couple of weeks of football are kind of iffy. There's a lot of up and down play. So, just stay the course. Everything's going to be all right. So, as always, trust yourself and trust the process.